you're getting into high school, and then so in high school, what was the turn from, because you were a good kid, right? Like,
yeah, I was not a bad kid ever. Like, I
you,
never
you
skipped
did your
school.
work,
I did
schoolwork and all that, but then you had an incident with your grandfather passing away, right? And then that's kind of maybe was it that and like some influences and everything.
Yeah, you know, so my grandfather was my best friend. I mean, like you said, I was with him every day.
Yeah.
And so they had made me a deal when I was probably 15. If I don't do drugs during school, you know, my grandmother never really got along as well. Because my grandfather had such a good relationship with me.
Right.
And what happened with my grandfather, actually, my mother was adopted by him.
Okay.
So he wasn't really blood, but I was his number one, you know, like the grandson.
Yeah.
And my grandmother was always a little resentful because she had a son, worked for the business, was older, but he's not near as smart as me. And that's not, you know, listen,
it is what it is.
And my grandfather knew that. So
and he probably wasn't as like a hustler.
He wasn't. Yeah. And listen, because he was just there, you know, he hated things and whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm 16 years old with these big business ideas. My grandfather's there, so where my uncle, you know, he might have said that, but he never followed through with anything.
Yeah.
So my grandfather, so they made me a deal. I never did drugs. I mean, even when my friends were like, that's only weed was big. Not even big then, but they were like smoking. I would go in the other room because in case my mom would test me, which she would. I'm up all night. He's like, you're doing this. Like, I'm not doing it.
I got tested one time as a kid and I failed. And my mom's like, why'd you fail the test? I was like, I didn't have enough time to study.
No, that's what if I said to mom, she would have hit me.
I say she was like, shut your mouth. You know?
Yeah, so I never did drugs and they gave me $5,000, which that time was good money.
Help, dude.
And
that was
good money. And so I bought my first car.
Nice.
So
what was it?
An Audi 5000.
And not a bad ride.
No, you know, listen, a used car, but it was clean, dude. And I kept it super clean.
Hell yeah.
And at my birthday, my 17th birthday is when he passed away.
Oh shit. Okay.
So you know, he called me out there. He said, "Happy birthday!"
Which is New Year's.
Yep.
New Year's Day.
Damn. And so he said, "Happy birthday!" He died. You know, as I watched him. So, not that I don't think that necessarily set up, but it said, "Listen, I don't care now. Yeah. You know, if my grandma gets mad at me, that's fine."
Like the law, like the law is kind of gone,
right? And
like,
you know, and listen, I would not. My grandma's here, so I can't disappoint anybody.
Right.
You know, I didn't have that relationship where he's the man I didn't want to disappoint.
Right. So, okay. So how did you then get into the drug game?
So, you know, I watched the video, Ice-T Hustler, not New Jack Hustler, but he had this hustler where he has all these people around. And I think
stripper,
it was around the pool.
Oh yeah.
And I just said, you know, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I did. I mean, you know, I started off small and just, you know, I felt around and I met the right people or the wrong people, if you want to say, you know.
Right, sure.
And to this day, I still hate drugs.
Yeah.
But it's a money thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it was. I I started small and just I starved until I got to where I wanted to be.
The addiction was the deal.
The deal. I still, to this day, if I have an addiction, it's just making a deal. I still get excited when I sign a $2,000 lease.
Hell yeah, dude.
You know, and it's not a lot of money, but I like that more than
Right.
You know, so it's a deal. I can go down Atlantic City or wherever and win 25,000. I don't even smile. I'm signing a lease.
Yeah.
Closing a deal on somebody. I smile.
Yeah. You put the work in.
Like, you know, it's
results of your labor.
Yeah. It's a different thing. So that's
But it was like also it's like a manifestation of your mind coming in of like, look, I saw this. I saw the opportunity for this. I put this together, and now this is what I like. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. Right. You made it work. Also, like you put it like you sold it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
like, that's the other game. Yeah.
I closed the deal. You know, when I got in trouble, they called it Operation Deal Breaker. So if you see like the big board is Operation because I was always that was the thing. Make the deal happen. Make the deal happen.
Nice. So what was the first step of when did you first buy it or buy stuff? Like what was your first kind of sale?
So I found an 8-ball. I didn't find, but I went out on the street.
You know where to get it. Yeah,
right. And then I was like, okay, what do I do now? And I went to the pawn shop and they sold little bags.
Yeah.
So you know, because I don't do drugs at that time, so I didn't know. You know, so
yeah,
I'm like, okay, like these 8-ball. I cut it up, put it in bags. I took an 8-ball back that was $120.
Nice.
I made 360. I made 20 bags. And it just sold to like people I knew at the thing, you know.
No, that shit went.
Quick.
Yeah.
And you know, because nobody even knew what it was as much then. They knew what it was, but my group of people. And that's just where it started. So now all of a sudden I'm making 150 or 200 bucks, and I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And again, it's the same thing. It's making the deal.
And you want to grow, and you want to make bigger deals.
Right. And I don't want to now. So and listen though, I would sleep in high school. I wouldn't sleep some nights paranoid. They're like, who did I sell to today? So that hand-to-hand stuff, I don't like. No. I didn't, you
didn't want the small time.
I didn't know. And my thing was, if I'm going to prison, it's gonna be for some real.
Yeah.
It was
prison for a 20 bag.
No, right. And back then they were doing the same. The charges were all the same.
Yes.
So it's I said, I got it. There's got to be a way to insulate myself as well as make more money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But space yourself out for sure.